Welcome everyone to Songwriter Spotlight. We are coming to you this evening from the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center in Brownsville, Tennessee, home of the West Tennessee Music Museum, the last home of bluesman Sleepy John Estes, as well as the Tina Turner Museum. My name is Sonia and I'll be your host for this evening. Now join me in welcoming a gentleman who calls himself the quintessential bluesman. Butch Mudbone has lived all over the country, has traveled and played with some phenomenal musicians over the years, and has called Memphis home for the last 30. So help me in welcoming him. Butch, thank you for being here this evening. I can't wait to hear your stories, learn more about your music, especially what inspires you. So why don't we just start with when you came to Memphis?
Met my wife and we hooked up, and I had this big school bus. We all were living in the school bus, and went to Big Mountain, Arizona, and then we were headed back to New Orleans, and we got here to Memphis, and I found a bunch of gigs. And I was playing Beale Street 3-4 nights a week.
So how old were you when you came to Memphis?
Let's see, I'm 74 now, I was 43, 42.
When did you start playing music?
Oh, see, I was 15, 16 years old.
What started you?
There were a couple of things. My stepdad had a record by Marty Robbins, and then he also had a Howlin' Wolf record, 45. And back then they were called race records, you know. And he used to play that at night. Sometimes when I was laying there in bed going to sleep, I hear that. Then I had a dream about it. And it was real funny because they were like Howlin' Wolf, and all the guys in this band, they were dressed in red suits like devils, and they were all dancing around and laughing. And I woke up a little bit scared, you know, but that dream really stuck with me. So later on down the road, I really got into Howlin' Wolf. I didn't set out to become a musician. It just happened to me, just like the ceremonies. It just happened to me, given to me as a gift. As I played with Sunnyland Slim, and I played with Deacon John and the Ivory, and I played with the Nevilles, and I played with a lot of I played with Bo Diddley, I played with John Lee Hooker, the Dixie Cups down in New Orleans, going to the chapel, and I just been totally gifted to be able to do what I do with these great people.
You've talked a little about your roots. Tell me more about your Native American heritage.
On the Wakaniga, which means I am Seneca. And my father, he says, you're Seneca, your grandmother was Harriet Edith Parker from Tonawanda, who moved to Allegheny. Her father was somebody named of Old Shield. And that's all I know. So when, as I got older and started going to ceremonies out west, it took me all the way full circle from Sweat Lodge Peyote Meeting, Sundance, back to the Longhouse, back where I come from.
Let's talk about your songwriting.
When I was learning guitar as a teenager, actually I was about 18 when I went to Phoenix with my dad. There was a little place in South Phoenix in the hood off of Washington and Jefferson Avenue. I started playing at this little joint down there, and I was not very good. But they really kind of took me in, helped me out, and no, change there, you know. But then from there was a place down on Baseline Road right near the mountain, South Mountain, and used to go down there and jam sessions. And I hear some of the stuff those people were playing, and I think, you know, hey, I can play it. I mean, I can do that stuff, that's simple. But how can they can't, you know, they didn't have a clue about that. They played them little licks. And I started thinking about a friend of mine. I played this little coffee house in Venice Beach, and he wrote some pretty unique songs, and they had grooves like. And then people like Hendrix, the kind of stuff they were doing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. Why don't I try it? I'm gonna write a couple of songs. And
well, what's your first song gonna be tonight? And kind of give us the background on that song.
Well, I had told you my father lived in Phoenix, and when he got out of the jail, and so I got thinking about it. So my mama told me when I was just a kid, don't be like your daddy. Well, she was with him. Wasn't my choice. So I kind of thought about it. I wrote this song around that, and kind of have I call that my John Lee Hooker. That's where this song comes from. Well, my mama told me when I was very young, said, son, be a good man. Don't do like your daddy done. My daddy left her. I was just a baby child, drinking down to the barrel house, chasing women, running wild. I ain't gonna do, Lord, like my daddy done. All I really need, just to find me one good woman. Why, listen to my mom, treated that woman right. She took my money, done me wrong, didn't come home at night. She's gone, I feel low, I got some misery, but I got my guitar, good Lord. It's all I really need. I ain't gonna do, Lord, like my daddy done. All I really need, just to find me one good woman. It's a wheeling, dealing world. Gotta get by how you can. Woman bound to get lonesome, but a woman needs a man. Oh, I ain't gonna do adjourn. All I really need, when I need a woman, I find me 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I wrote quite a few songs on this guitar. Well, not this one in particular, but one like it. I played the streets in New Orleans pretty regular when I lived down there. I lived there for about a dozen years, 10, 12 years, I don't know. And I played out in Jackson Square. And I make up stuff as I'm going. Sometimes I just get tired of playing the same thing, so let's make something here. Oh, I know what, I'll think about this other thing that happened to this girl or whatever, you know, and the next thing you know, I got a new song. And that was fun, you know, like making up stuff. And there was a man, his name was Emmanuel Sales. He was a banjo player at Preservation Hall in New Orleans. He used to come out and listen to me almost every day. I wouldn't say every day, I'd say a couple times a week. He always put money in my bucket. And he always say, hey man, you're doing really good. Just keep that straight forward. Just keep that straight forward. And I took that to heart, even though I had a little stuff here and there. And then, you know, a lot of people, they play with a pick. And I got in the habit of playing with a thumb pick and a finger pick, especially on this, because after some hours on the street, hard on the fingers, you know. But now, you know, most of the time now I'm playing electric guitar or this one, and I just use my fingers. I don't need no picks or nothing. And I can get and I like the little slap.
So do you consider yourself a bluesman?
Yep.
Primarily?
Yeah, yeah. Because I would say 89% of what I do is just all complete blues oriented. And maybe, you know, I come up with these little funk things like, it's 12-bar blues, but it's just done funky. Said, Butch, your time is up. Once more, my money. You know I just ain't got enough. They said time is money. Man, they lied. They say time and money, and I'm living on borrowed time. Well, the police gave me a ticket, cause the meter it was showing red. I said, officer, I was just 2 seconds late. This is what the officer said. You know, bloody time is money. Man, they lied. I got the blues. Yeah,
arrested for committing some horrible crime. But since he had so much money, he never did one day at a time. Well, you know, by the time his money, man, he died. I've got the blues. Yes, I'm living on borrowed time. Yes, I got the blues. Yes, I'm living on borrowed time.
I always liked that song.
When did tell me the story about that song?
I had just played with Albert King, and my bass player, he worked with Albert for like 9 years. And he said Albert fired him every Tuesday and hired him back every Thursday for 9 years. He started playing with me. He's dead and gone now. Vic Charles, he was a great bass player, great friend, had a lot of knowledge about subtleties in the music. Like some people, they'll play Albert King like Born Under a Bad Sign. Boom, doom, 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 doom. That's almost like the groove I just played, same tempo. But that's where some of that came from Albert. And Vic, he used to tell me, he said, now listen, he said, here, it will go. And the thing that makes that song funky is that bottom bass line. Because if you played it up, don't have the same feel. And he pointed out little things like that, and there's a place in that song where it don't do the same lick. It does a simpler lick. But if you're not hip to it, you know. So he showed me some things like that, and that's where that song came out of pretty much out of an Albert King groove I had in my head.
Where can people find you and your music online?
I have, of course, I'm on the Facebook thing, and they can look me up on www.butchmudbone.com. I also have, I have 7 CDs available. The 8th one should be out within the month. I just love what I do, you know. I hope y'all do too.
Well, how about singing us another one?
Okay, how about... Best girl I ever had, good Lord.
gave me my highway shoes. I don't know about the rain, but the blues will surely fall. Don't know about the rain, good Lord, the blues will surely fall. I'm on the road, good Lord, don't know if I'll be back at all. You give me my highway shoes, baby. Yeah, I'm living the blues. It cuts just like a knife. Yeah, I'm living the blues, good Lord. Cuts like a switchblade knife. You know, I was so happy when you was in my life. That's right. Now I'm walking. Got my highway shoes.
So, Butch, what comes first, the words or the music?
That's funny you ask. Sometimes I'll be laying around in the bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, boom, sit up like a shot. Got a song in my head. Go over to the piano or pick up a guitar and see what I... That happened to me with a Bo Diddley song, and I believe that his spirit sent me that song. It was trippy. Sometimes I'll get a song and I'll just play it, and I kind of sketch down what key it's in or whatever, G minor or whatever, and just forget about it. And sometimes later the words just come. And sometimes the words come and I gotta figure out how to put it down. I don't count on it, you know what I mean? I just play it by ears. I had a bunch of songs running through my head, and I was thinking about that. I did this one that has that 1 to 5 New Orleans thing, but I put my 4 in there. It goes. To the highway, yes, I'm moving down the line. I'm happy I'm leaving, Lord, it's gotta be my time. There's a brown-skinned woman I love in New Orleans. There's a brown-skinned woman I love in New Orleans. world for me. Got a sweet gal in Texas, Lord, do anything in the world for me. But that California woman, Lord, Lord, she will not leave me be. Got a map to the highway, Lord, I'm moving down the line. Got a map to the highway, man, as I'm moving down the line. I'm happy I'm leaving, too cold, almost winter time. That's an old one. Wrote that many years ago.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Be sure and check out butchmudbone.com and be sure and join us again in 2 weeks for another Songwriter Spotlight. Butch, it's been such a pleasure having you here this evening, learning about your music, hearing your stories, and learning more about your Native American roots. What have you got you can play us out on?
You got a Uzi under your pillow, baby. Yes, you got a blackjack beneath your bed. You got a Uzi under your pillow. Yeah, you got a blackjack beneath your bed. But you ain't gonna catch me sleeping. I know you want to whoop my head. You got a baseball bat in the corner. You got an ice pick in your hand. Yes, you got an ice pick in your hand. I don't believe I sleep with one eye open. Maybe then I catch your other man.